Hello, Brick Sculptors, and welcome back to Brick Sculpt. This is Chris, and it is freezing cold here in Chicago. We are in the middle of winter here, and I need something to warm up. Now, I've been working on my Lego City quite a bit lately, and I've realized I need boats. Not just personal, man-powered watercraft, I need real boats. So I decided to build a pontoon. Let me show you how this goes. This is going to be the base of the pontoon here. We're going to start with this 8x8 plate. We're going to put two 4x6s underneath it. In the back, it's going to hang over 3 studs. In the front, 2 studs. That's going to be the start of our base. This will be better if this was a 4x8, but for some reason I don't have one, so 2x8s works just fine. And then we need the front of the boat. On the front here, we're going to use a couple of these curved plates. Just like that. And in the middle, 2x3. That is the base of our pontoon boat right there. Now we're going to start on the underside, and we're going to have to build off of these anti-studs here. So to build the pontoons, first thing we're going to do is build the front. The front is going to be 2 cylinders in gray, 1 plate, round plate, 2x2 on there. And then one of these domes. That's going to be the front of our pontoon. So we're going to need 2 of them. Next, we're going to build the back of the pontoon. For the back of the pontoon, 2 more 2x2 cylinders, and then one of these smooth, rounded pieces to make up the back end of the pontoon. We're also going to need 2 of those. And now for the middle of the pontoon. We're going to start with a 1x2x2 brick. We're going to put a 1x1 snot brick on the top of that, followed by 1x1x2 studs. It's 5 plates high, so not quite 2 bricks. And we're going to do 3 of those. Just like that. You can use a table here to press that down, get them all flat. Next, we're going to take a 1x5 brick. I only had black, I didn't have gray, but you're not going to see this anyway. It's underneath the boat, so any color really works. And a 1x1 brick. This is going to be the portion that will attach to the bottom side of the boat. Next, we're going to take a bunch of these half cylinders, and this is 8 of them, and we're just going to link them all together. Also, I do have the instructions for this with a parts list up on Rebrickable. I've got that linked in the description, so if you want to build one of these and don't want to have to do it off this video, check it out. It's free. So that's going to be the majority of our pontoon. We'll put our front on there, and then our back, and that is one pontoon. Same thing for the other side. We're just going to have to reverse it. So the curve is on the outside. There we go. And we got 2 pontoons. Now we're not going to link these on these anti-studs. We're going to use the ones in the middle. That'll give it a nice offset. So it's going to link right here, which means it will stick over on the outside just a little bit. And just a little bit in the back, and just a little bit in the front. And I think it's about the right ratio I did here to make it look nice and real. So there are our 2 pontoons on our platform, and we're ready to build on top now. Growing up, we had a lake house, and we did have a pontoon boat. They're fun little party boats. They don't go real fast, but they hold the whole family, and usually pretty affordable. I think. I don't know. I'm not a boat person. Anyway, next we're going to add brackets. So I got a whole bunch of white brackets. These are the upward facing 2x2 brackets. And I've got 10 of them here. We're going to start one from the back. And we'll just do a row of 3 of these. We'll leave a 2 space for a door. And then do 2 more. Same thing on the other side. There we go. Next, we're going to add some sides on these brackets. For my pontoon, I decided to use sand blue as my accent color, but you can use whatever you want. Usually these are a little more subdued colors because they're family boats. So I have a 1x6 tile I'm going to put on the back, a 1x3 tile on the front, and then I'm going to use one of these 1x2 slopes. And that's going to go right off the front here, and it will just butt up to that stud right there and give it a nice curved front. Same thing on the other side. Uh-oh. The pontoons can be a little fragile. Unfortunately, you can't really run a Technic pin through the middle of these because of these halves. I'm sure there's a way, but you don't really need to. It's not that crucial. So there we go. We have the sand blue sides on there. I also have a couple of 1x2s. These are actually going to sit in between the studs like this. Then we're just going to slide it over to butt up to that slope like that. This is legal. It's not legal when you do it with plate, but with tile, it is legal to put it in between studs like that. At least as far as I've always been told. Not that legality really matters. I know every time I do that, a million people in the comments are going to say, why does it matter? It's your build. Do whatever you want. And that's correct. Do whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. But some people pay attention to that, especially if you're going to submit things to ideas or stuff like that. All right. And then up on top, we've got 1x2 slope in white on the front. These are going to keep falling off. Same thing on the other side. 1x2 plate on each side. Now I did two different doors here, mostly because I only had two of these pieces. I need to order more. I can't find mine. I know I have more, I just can't find them. But if you put two of these like this, they make a nice door that you can actually open. So I really like that design. So I'll probably stick with that. But if you don't like that look, you can also just put a tile across and it gives the implied like door that would open. There's other ways to do it too, but those are the two I liked the best just to make it look the cleanest. I'll probably stick with this one. I just got to get a few more of those tiles. 1x2 tile there, and then I'm going to do one of these quarter round tiles on the back. You'll see why in a little bit. And there we go. So now the sides are on, we can start to work on some of the seats. In the back of the boat, I have kind of an engine cover. This is going to be two 2x3 plates and a 2x3 tile. That's going to go right in the middle. And then I built up some seats here. This is a 2x3 plate, 1x3 tile, and a 2x2 plate on the bottom, and then a couple of these panels on here, a quarter panel and a 1x2 panel. That's going to fill out this back area here, leaving an area on the back for people to climb on and off or swim off of or whatever. Pontoons usually hang over in the front and the back. On the other side, we're just going to do a 1x3 plate, 1x2 plate, and then those two panels. And that's going to give a little more room for the driver. That's why I didn't do a full seat back there. And up on the side, 1x3 plate with a 1x3 tile right down the side there. Now for the rest of the seats, we're going to take 1x4 plates and put them in front of our brackets. Like that. And then I used 2x2s because I have a million of them, but 2x4s are probably better. These were on Pick-a-Brick and I've got a lot of them. There we go. Again, that pontoon's going to keep falling off. And for the cushions, I decided to use ingots. But you could use tile if you want, or you can even just leave the studs so people can stick to them easier. Minifigs, that is, not people. But I liked the ingots. It's got kind of a cushiony feel to it, look to it, I should say. There's nothing cushiony about Lego. but just line up 4 ingots on each of those seats. Just like that. And then we're going to need to give the driver a little space there. So I built this little console. This is a 3 long plate, 1x1 brick, 1x2 snot jumper, and a 1x1 snot piece here. I put this keypad on the right, steering wheel in the middle, and then just a brick on this side. And then I have this windshield on this hinge so I can lean it backward right there. And then my driver, I'm going to stick a 2x2. You can use a plate or a jumper. I put a jumper in with the intention of this being able to turn, but then I put this next to it. But you can do it either way. So I could make this turn if I decided to take that out just a little bit to give some angle to the driver, but I think it looks good like that too. And then I have one of these levers for the throttle of the boat. Throttle? Joke. I don't know anything about boats. I'm sorry. I just know that I've driven one, and this is the lever you pull down on to make it go, or reverse, or whatever. There you go. Next, we got to finish out the front here. And the way I did that, I took a couple of 1x1 bricks, 1x1 round plate with open stud, stick those together, and I'm just going to stick them on these slopes overhanging these tiles down here. And then because those are open studs, we can use a couple of these 1x1 rounds with the bars on them and stick those in. And then I can take a 1x4 tile and just put it across as like a gate. So you could open that up and they can swim off the front. I think that looks pretty good there, and finish out the front of the boat really nicely. All right, last thing I need, and this is totally optional. So you can use this as an open top pontoon, which is pretty typical. That's what mine was as a kid. But I'm going to put a canopy on this because why not? I decided to use dark tan, but white works as well. I just felt like there's a lot of white, so I did dark tan. But you can do whatever color you want with any part of this boat, really. For the canopy, we're going to start with some plates. Now, these are 3 long plates. I got some 3x2s and 1x3s. And they're just going to line up like this. I've got a couple of these bar pieces, brick modifieds with bars on them. Those are going to go on the ends like that. 1x4 plate will go down the middle to connect everything. And then we can take our 6x8 slope, stick it on there. I got an 8 long tile across the top, and on the back, cheese slopes. I was 1 double cheese slope short, so for right now I've got a couple singles in there, but that will change once I order another double. So there is my canopy. I just need to attach it to the pontoon. So we're going to start on the sides of the boat. I've got some of these 1x1 clips. Those are going to go on the back. Next, I've got some of these 1x1 rounds with the bars on them. Those are going to go on the front, and they're going to lay down on these curved pieces, leaning forward. We're going to take some of these bar holders. And also I have the clip version. That's going to go up here. Same thing on the other side. And then I've got some 3 long bars in gray. And some 4 long bars in gray on the front. A couple more of these clips. Whoops. Like that. And my canopy will clip onto these. And these are just going to tuck underneath the canopy right there. And they kind of hold it up nicely and look to be attached even if they aren't. What do you think? Last thing, we got to put our family in there. Here they are. Dad's going to drive. Mom's going to sip her coffee back here. For seating people on these, I like to just pull the ingots off. It doesn't look bad, though that one's going to be lower. You won't really notice it, and she'll sit a little bit lower in the boat, so she gets a little bit more of a backrest out of that. I just think it looks better that way. And, you know, we'll have Junior up here very excited on the front of the boat, and the daughter maybe back here pestering Dad. At least that's what my daughter would be doing. And there they are. What do you think? Well, let me know below in the comments what you think. Like I said, if you want to build this with instructions, I have it up on Rebrickable for free. Hope you guys like this video. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. We'll do more just like this in the future. That's live for this time, and we will see you next time.